Hi everyone, Arlene here. Welcome back to my Country Craft Corner. How in the world are you guys doing today? It is so good to see you again, and thank you so much for stopping back by to see what I'm up to. And what I'm up to today is my Then Sings My Soul lantern. Oh my goodness, for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know which lantern I'm talking about. My cousin Stacy used her Cricut to make me up a beautiful sticker that says Then Sings My Soul, and that sits right on the front door of this red lantern that I'm going to be showing you. I got this lantern from Kirkland's. I do not know whether they still have it or not, but I would highly not recommend that you purchase this online. We had a big old debacle last fall with this lantern. A lot of people ordered them and they all came broken. Mostly every single one of them came broken. Kirkland's was really good about it and they refunded them or had them keep the lanterns and but I would not suggest that you order this lantern if it is still available. I would go into your local Kirkland's and see if they don't have it there in their store. Anyway, today I'm going to be making a funky bow topper for my lantern, and it's going to sit right over here on my kitchen counter. You can see that whole counter space is empty right there. And I'm going to show you what else I'm going to pair with it and what inspired me to make a lighter and airier, if you will, spring type funky bow topper for this red lantern. So let's turn this camera around and get started. I'm hoping I can bring this to fruition. Fingers crossed that I can make a pretty bow topper for this. And I'll let you see what else I've created to go in this space. All right, let's turn this around and get started, huh? Okie dokie, I'm back. And here you can see the red lantern. This is the lantern that I'm talking about. And there you can see the Then Sings My Soul wording on it. I love it. And what has inspired me with this, I've been racking my brain because I've lightened up the palette a lot for springtime and for Easter. And I've been combining the two, spring and Easter. But yet I want to keep this in my decor because I love it. First of all, I love it so much. And second of all, because Stacy made me this and I never want to put this away. I always want to use this somewhere in my decor. And I really have enjoyed it sitting on my kitchen counter over there. So I am going to keep this on my counter. And as you can see here, this plate, I found this at Home Goods a few weeks ago. And this is what I'm using for my inspiration. I'm gonna pull the colors out of here. Now let me explain. This is all going to sit on the counter with this lantern. That's going to be in the corner, and then this lantern is going to sit in the other kind of corner. First thing I'm going to do is make a little something out of some lamb's ear to go on this for this little bird to sit in. And you can see here, this is one of my willow tree figurines. My daughter Kristen gave this to me for Christmas one year. Serafina, something like that, Shine. But she's very pretty. And she's got a little bit of the blue in her too. So I'm gonna pair her with this as well. And I am gonna pull in some Pioneer Woman. One of you guys gave me these measuring spoons, and I'm going to hang this from the bow, and it's gonna, become part of the design. So I'm going to utilize those, and I'm going to utilize some blueberries and some pinky red roses. And these are going to all be paired with these ribbons. You can see the red and white ticking, kind of a cream and green, a blue, and it's all going to go along with this ribbon. Hopefully, all of this will look okay when I pull it all together. Fingers crossed anyway, we're gonna see. So I already made this to go inside the lantern, and I'm gonna cut to that footage right now. You guys, I'm cutting here from my regular video there. I'm working on this in the evening, and I just got a wild hair to do this, so I just came over to do this. I wanted to make up something for the inside of the lantern. So this is what I had attached to this candle holder with this candle inside of it. So I'm going to replace that with this, just a plain, and I already had this made up for something. I don't know what I had it on, but I had it on something. And I'm just going to take some of this lamb's ear, these tufts, and I'm going to attach a few of these on to this candle ring with, guess what, cable ties. And then I'm just going to make a little candle ring out of lamb's ear and these pip berries. I got these pip berries from Hobby Lobby last fall, I believe, and I had this on something in my fall decor. I don't remember what. It was sitting in my garage. Okay, and I'm just gonna follow the pip berries, you know, pip berry ring around, and I'm just going to attach this every so often. So I'm going to put you into fast motion till I'm done, and y'all see the final product. Okay, as you saw, I made that last night. Well, you don't know that it was last night, but for me it was last night. And I didn't have these roses. I went to Hobby Lobby and picked up these roses this morning. So I do want to add a few roses here and there throughout this little decor. Not that you're really going to see it that much, and I'm really just going to stick them in. I'm not going to glue them or anything. I just want them to just be peeking out a little bit, because this is really going to go inside this lantern here. So I just really want to put, you know, one here and there just to peek out. Just to give it a little bit of a flavor of that color. I don't want to glue these in, and I'm not giving myself really enough stem to tie wrap them in. I just want to add them in. All right, let's go ahead and get these in to this lantern. Or get this into the, watch them fall out. They're going to fall out, I bet you anything, when I turn this sideways to get it in. Oh, well, maybe not. There we go. And that fills up that space nicely, very, very nicely. And I'm going to put my candle right down in there. And there we go. That's all I'm going to do to the inside. That looks super pretty. I'm really happy with how that worked out. I was a little worried about that, but it worked out just fine. Yay. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do with that. So we'll get back to the lantern in a second. Let me turn my attention to this little bird here for just a second, and to just a couple of tufts of lamb's ear. I have two little tufts left over, but I want the smaller stem off of each one. And I'm just going to very simply, just like I did with the going around that, I'm going to just tie wrap these together very simply. get my glue dots out. And I really don't want this sticking up too much. I'd really rather it, because I don't want it to hide the picture. I'm gonna see what I can do with it once I get it on here. You get a glue dot, these magic glue dots again. I get these from Hobby Lobby. Thank you, Danielle, for introducing the glue dots to all of us. They are little miracle workers for this old girl. And I'm just very simply that's it for those. And I really just want to kind of bend them down, and I want this little birdie to sit right in front like that. Maybe come up behind her a little bit. She was $1 from the Dollar General. And that is just about it. And I'll fix her when I get her over onto the counter. But that's really it. I don't want it to be up and covering up the plate. I just want it to be a little accent piece here. All right, so that'll do that. So next thing I want to do, I'm going to make a 12 loop funky bow. And the reason I'm choosing 12 loop instead of 16 loop was easy. I only had this much ticking left, and I wanted to be sure to use my ticking. So I only had enough left for three strips of 24. So that solved my problem. I'm going to do 3 strips of each of this ribbon at 24 inches long. And we're gonna make us a 12 loop funky bow. And I will be back when I am finished cutting up my ribbon. And we'll make a 12 loop funky bow. And we're gonna attach it to the lantern, and then we're gonna add a few things to it to make a funky bow topper to pair in with all of this. So I'll be right back, and we'll start making a funky bow. Okie dokie, you guys. I'm done cutting my ribbon, except that I'm going to show you how to do a dovetail here. And I had to reteach myself how to do this, but fold it in half with the folded side on your dominant side. Go to that, cut down at an angle toward the edge, and that makes you what we here in the crafting world call a dovetail. Just makes the ends of your ribbon look finished. You don't have to do this to yours if you don't want to. I choose to, usually. All right, there we go. I'm ready to start making my funky bow. I'll put this camera down just a smidge. If you do not want to watch me do this funky bow tutorial, feel free to go ahead and forward to minute mark this, and that will take you to when I'm tying the bow onto the lantern and getting ready to add some things to do the topper. I don't want anybody to have to feel like they have to sit through. Not that you would, you can always forward if you want to. But I don't want anybody to have to feel like they need to sit through this tutorial. Regardless, I have 3 strips of each ribbon at 24 inches. Each strip equals 1 loop in the bow. 3 times 4 is 12. That's how I get a 12 loop funky bow. And we're going to take the first strip, fold it in half. We're going to go to about 5.5 inches and pinch. And we're going to go back to that back tail, and we're going to twist it around to the front, because we want both tails going, both front sides, right sides going in the same direction, at least to start out with. They're going to get jumbled and mixed up, but we try to start them out going in the right direction at first. Okay, here's the second one. As we work our way through the pattern, this first time we're going to point all of the loops up from center. Picture my thumb as being the center of the bow, and these first 4 loops, as I go through the pattern of ribbon, will go up, will get pointed up from center. 5.5 inches and pinch. And even with a ribbon like this that looks double-sided, I still twist, just because for one thing it helps to separate the tails, and for another thing, texturally speaking, it looks different most times. All right, here we go. 4th ribbon in the pattern, go to 5.5 inches, pinch it together, try to keep your loop size consistent, and go to that back tail and twist. There we go. There's our first 4 loops in our 12 loop funky bow. Okay, we're going to start the pattern over again, and this time we're going to turn that loop and point it down from center. If you're interested in seeing my funky bow cheat sheet, you're welcome to go to my blog. I'll give you a description below, I'll give you a link in the description below to a blog, and then you need to go into the blog and look through there, and you'll see a link for a PDF, and you can print it out, and then you can read how to make the funky bow, and you'll always have me there to remind you how to go through it. I teach you how to do a 9 loop, a 12 loop, and a 16 loop funky bow on the cheat sheet. And here we go, turn down from center, pinch it together, twist, and one more. I'm going to speed through this last time through, starting with the florals again. I'll show you first. I am piling them side by side by side and letting them kind of fall into the crook of my fingers. So I'm not pinching it with just my forefinger and my thumb. I'm holding it with this whole span of my first finger and thumb. And I'm not squeezing extremely tight right now. Anyway, all right, last time through the pattern, we're going to point the loop up from center. And I'll be right back when I'm ready to tie it together. Grab me a red pipe cleaner, I think. I'm gonna lay it across my thumb, kind of in the center. Pull the bottom around the bottom and the top around the top. Use the hand that you're holding the loops shut with as resistance. And get these fingers up as close as you can and pinch that bow together and twist, 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 twist. Twist the bow, twist the pipe cleaner. I twist both. And there we go. 12 loop funky bow that looks pretty messy right now. But the most important part of any bow is the fluffing. So take some time now to fluff out this bow. Get your hand inside every loop, make it big and pretty, and move it where you want it to be in the bow. Make sure you touch every loop and pull it forward and up into the bow. And you can see it coming into shape here. Okay, next thing I'm going to do, there we go. It's looking good. I'm liking it. Next thing I want to do is to tie a piece of ribbon into the back of the bow. And this piece of ribbon is what I'm going to use to tie the bow onto the lantern. So simply turn it over and put the ribbon right side down. I don't open up the pipe cleaner all the way, but I do try to open it up a little bit. Just because I want this ribbon to pull this whole bow in really, really tightly up against this lantern. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and cut these down a little bit. Because you want to be able to manipulate the bow once you get it on the lanterns. Just pull the lantern over, turn it around. And this is the front, so I want to position the bow on the front, and I want to use this ribbon right here, and I'm going to tie it really tightly, but I'm going to make it a pretty bow. So I take the left strip over the right, tie it just like you're going to tie your shoe, and you can see that. Did you see that bow pull right up against this lantern? That's what holds these. This is an important step, you guys, to pull that bow up against this lantern. You don't want it to be flipping and flopping around up there when you're trying to work on it, or when you go to add some of your accent pieces. Anyway, take your right strip, twist, and put it through. That way you have both right sides coming out, and sometimes these just come back in and mingle in, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, I usually do a little dovetail just right to the edge there, about like that. Giving myself enough space so that I can tie it back on the next time I want to reuse this bow topper, because I keep my bow toppers and I reuse them all the time. And there we go. Now is when the fluffing really begins. Don't be afraid to yank on those loops. Letting the blue, the solid blue, kind of slip to the back of the bow, as you see. Kind of just letting the floral, the green and cream, and the ticking. Oh goodness, I'm sorry, my back is hurting, you guys. Kind of take over the front of the bow. I love it. I think that's super pretty. Okay. And you can still see the blue, but it's kind of just peeking out. It's not like, look, it's blue and I'm right here, and I don't necessarily like that, but I like there to be a touch of it, just to pull the blue out of the ribbon and the blue out of the birds and the candles. By the way, I chalk painted these. These were very old. Let's try to remember to give you a link to my chalk painting, my one and only chalk painting video. All right, now, so there is a bow topper, and I could leave it just like that and it would be pretty and it would pair nicely with what I have inside, and that would be lovely. But nah, I want to do a little something else to it. This green tail is a little long. This is another thing. If you see something you're not caring for, if it's not doing what you want it to do, you can always give it a trim. Okay. Now, first of all, I was thinking about putting a little bit of a lamb's ear up in it, but toward the back of it. When I do my bow toppers, I don't stick big flowers. Sometimes I'll put a big one in the middle, but I'm not one to stick flowers and everything, big things in my bows, just because I don't want to hide the ribbons. The whole point of the funky bow is the bow, you know. So, but that doesn't mean I don't want a little bit of something, something peeking out here and there. Like that. I do have my glue gun here behind me. And I'll probably put a couple on either side too. But just a little something, something, just to pull the green up into the bow. I need to stand here and hold this. I'll be right back. Okay, and then I'm just going to put just a little tuft on either side. Just like that. Just a little something, something. I'm going to go ahead and glue these in. And believe it or not, the bow is thick enough where it holds on to all this stuff, but yet it doesn't glue it to the lantern. So, there we go. That's the beginning of our bow topper. Okay, now I have these pretty little roses to match the roses in the flowers, and I have some of these blueberries that will help pull in the blue. So let me see what I can do here. Blueberries just kind of pull right off into little and stay in little tufts here and there. And little roses to pair with it. Again, I want it to just be soft and subtle. And I'll glue all this stuff in once I'm finished placing everything. Alrighty, I think I'm going to let that dry. Turn it around here and take a peek at it. I think it looks good. I think that's it, you guys. I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. And I may put the little rose down in there just to, oh, I forgot these. Duh! I wanted to tie these on. Let's see. That looks super cute. Alrighty, there we go. Oh, I wanted one ribbon, or one, maybe just blueberries instead of a rose. Something a little bit less in your face. Putting a little glue on it. on the stem. Here we go. Alrighty, I'm gonna let it dry and I'll be back for some final words, you guys. I'm back with the finished lantern and I am, let's all say it together, I'm super happy with how this worked out. Oh my goodness, you guys. I am super happy that I was able to pull in the red into this decor. And I think I succeeded. I really do. I think just the subtle red roses really pair nicely with the red of the lantern. A little bit of the red peeking out inside the lantern with the red ticking and the blue floral and the green and cream. I think it all matches beautifully. And then to add the Pioneer Woman measuring spoons to it, I think that really helped bring it all together too. So I'm super happy with it, I really am. And I think when it gets paired with all of these other things, I think it's really gonna look cute. And I'm gonna take my video camera off and pan across. I'm gonna go put it all on this island back here. I wanted to show you too, I added some roses to this design and another tuft of lamb's ear and some roses and some blueberries to pull this whole thing in with that plate and this lantern. Let me turn in the candles and everything and the little doll, So I'm hoping that when I get it all set up, it's gonna look pretty, Fingers crossed anyway, huh? I think it will. I think it's gonna pair beautifully together. Alrighty. This was a challenge for me, but I love a challenge and I like to try to do different things. Remember, in crafting, there are no mistakes, only unique creations. I keep forgetting to say that and I gotta start saying that again. So, let me just say that I hope that those of you who are struggling or suffering with a catastrophic illness or chronic pain, I hope that you have someone there with you, taking care of you, helping you get through each and every day, making the very best out of each and every day. I hope there's nothing weighing on your minds or your hearts, pulling your attention away from where you want it to be or from where it should be. I love you all to bits, to bits, to bits, hugs all around, and I keep you in my thoughts and my prayers every single day. And let's say that one more time. In crafting, there are no mistakes, only unique creations. And with all that said, I'll just say, until next time, y'all take good care. Stay tuned, and I am going to give you one more look at everything in its place back there on that counter. Catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.